The titles the Most Gracious and the Most Merciful seem to have become titles closely attached to the Allah worshipped by Muslims. Of the 114 surahs in the Quran, almost all of them, except Surah At-Tawbah, begin with the phrase, "In the name of Allah, the Most Gracious, the Most Merciful." Likewise, every time they start an activity, generally devout Muslims will recite the same phrase. In essence, all Muslims have accepted these titles as a truth of faith that no longer needs to be questioned. But here's what's strange. When people think about teachings on love, Islam is just not what comes to mind. And that raises a serious question. Why is there such a gap between the titles given to Allah and the actual content of Islamic teaching? Why does Allah, who is supposedly the most compassionate and most merciful, not produce a body of teaching that's deeply shaped by the spirit of love? This is the issue we will discuss in this video. If we ask a Muslim what proof is there that Allah is the most gracious and merciful, usually Muslims will answer like this: the proof of Allah's love is in all the blessings and favors we receive. There are also Muslims who say, "I pray and ask only to Allah. Look at all the wealth, prosperity, and worldly happiness that I enjoy. All of this must come from the Allah I worship and is the goal of all my requests." In essence, Muslims believe that all the blessings they receive are a proof of Allah's love to them. Is this really true? Not necessarily. Let's look at the following analogy. A very poor man came before a king and expressed all his life's suffering. After hearing his complaints, the king took a bag of money and gave it to the poor man. Upon receiving money far beyond his expectations, the poor man thanked the king and praised his kindness all the way home. In the palace, the ministers also praised the king's kindness while asking why he was so generous to the poor man. The king said, "If that poor man had asked for 10 times that amount, I would have given it too. Our kingdom is very rich. That gift is like a drop of water from the vast lake we have. Do you know the real reason I gave that person money? I don't want him to go home to his area and say something bad about our kingdom. That could make many people angry and start a rebellion that threatens our kingdom." So this is not about generosity, but political cunning. That's how it is. For the poor man, the gift was proof of the king's generosity. But for the king, the action had nothing to do with generosity. There was another motive behind it, namely a political effort to maintain power. Likewise, for Muslims, all the blessings and gifts they believe come from Allah are proof of the most gracious and most merciful nature of the Allah they worship. Meanwhile, for the Allah of Islam, the giving may not necessarily be based on love, but on other reasons. In the Gospels, the devil was even able to offer the entire world and all its glory to Jesus if he would worship him. Clearly, such a great gift had nothing to do with a motive of love. The point is, giving does not automatically become proof of love. Such a view is very naive. Unfortunately, there is not a single Islamic teaching that can provide convincing proof or argument that the Allah of Tawheed they worship gives all blessings because of a motive of love. Not a single one. That stands in complete contrast to the Christian faith. Christians don't need to chant God is compassionate and merciful over and over like a mantra. They already know that God is love because there is real proof present in history, namely the crucifixion of Jesus, who is the Son of God, for the salvation of mankind. Just with that one proof, it is enough to convince everyone that everything God gives and does for us is definitely based on love. Here's what Jesus himself said: "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." Just as Abraham was willing to sacrifice Isaac as proof of his love for God, God the Father was willing to give up his only Son as proof of his love for mankind. The question is, where in other religions, including Islam, is there proof of God's love more convincing than that? There is absolutely none. And the triune God who is love is also proven in the teachings of Christian faith, which makes love the center of its entire doctrine. Compare this with the Allah of Islam, who is called the most gracious and most merciful, but whose trace is completely invisible in Islamic teachings. In the end, Muslims must accept the dark fact that the titles most gracious and most merciful of the Allah they worship are actually nothing more than verbal claims that have never been proven. It's just a hoax that has persisted for 14 centuries because it is repeated constantly like a magic mantra. This argument is part of many interesting arguments in the book Islam and Common Sense. This book is written for anyone who wants to know God and all His truth, not only with blind faith, but with intellectual honesty that is brave. Get the book now. The link is in the video description.